Hi, welcome to Physician in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Dr. Monique, a plant-based board-certified family physician and founder of the brand Physician in the Kitchen. I help people discover, cook, and eat delicious plant-based foods because my mission is to fix America's health one plate at a time. Quick, name this fruit. Well, if you said bitter melon or bitter squash, give yourself a gold star because that's exactly what this is, and it is the star of today's recipe. Today, I'm going to be using it to make a stir fry. But we're going to play off of the natural bitterness. Yes, it is actually bitter, hence the name. And we're going to use it against some naturally sweet ingredients to balance those two out. So I'm looking forward to trying this. I've never had this before. So this will be a world premiere of me trying a bitter melon. But before we get into all that, be sure to do all the things. Click like, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell, and share to make sure that you never miss out on any of our plant-powered content. So, what exactly is this weird looking kind of cucumbery, bumpy, warty fruit? Well, as I said, it is a bitter melon and it is used in cuisines all around the world, from African, Caribbean to Indian, Asian cuisines. And it's known for its bitterness and also has some health benefits, of course, and we'll get into that later. So you can find this fruit, and it's used a fruit because even though it's used or called a vegetable in cooking, it's a fruit because it has seeds on the inside. So a lot of common vegetables that we use or that we call vegetables are actually fruit because of that. So your bell peppers, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, zucchini, guess what? All technically are fruits. But you can find these year-round at your local Asian market. But in the summertime, when they're in peak season is the summer, and you can actually find them at the farmer's market, which is where I got mine. So we are going to use this, as I said, in a stir fry. And before we get into that, though, I'm going to show you how to prep it, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can use it in different recipes. But enough about that. Let's get to cooking. Today's also our lineup of ingredients is as follows: bitter melon, carrots, broccoli, onion, bell pepper, sweet green peas, baby bella mushrooms, some grated ginger and garlic, along with some scallions, sesame oil, more scallions, and sesame seeds for garnish. And we're going to serve this over some whole wheat noodles. For our slurry, we've got some vegetable stock, cornstarch, tamari, mirin, and some rice vinegar. So before we add this to our stir fry, we're going to go ahead and prep this, and you'll notice that the outside is kind of bumpy or warty, and when you bite into it, it's actually crunchy on the outside and kind of crisp and moist on the inside, much like a cucumber or zucchini, which of course it is related to. So these are going to be more hydrating fruits for you to use. So you want to be sure when you get it that you store it in the refrigerator, covered up, but you don't wash it until you're actually ready to use it, because when you wash your produce before you use it, it actually speeds up their rate of decline or deterioration. So don't wash it till you're ready to use it. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut off the ends. And there's a variety of ways that you can prep this to decrease the level of bitterness. One of the ways is you can cut it up and put it in salt, basically. Let it sit in salt for about an hour, and then you squeeze that out. But I'm not going to do that to save on time. I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to cook it. But you can also blanch it, boil it in hot water, and then shock it. That helps decrease the bitterness. And if you do that method, though, realize that the longer you cook it, of course, the softer that it gets, but it does remove more of the bitterness. So what we're going to do first is just go ahead and scoop this out. So this is the pith. This pithy inside has a seed, so that's why, again, it's a fruit. And we're just going to take a spoon and scoop this out, and I'm actually going to taste it. So I'm going to taste it once I scoop this out and see what the hype is all about. Now, this actually reminds me of an eggplant, this texture of this inner part, but to my knowledge, they're not related, but it does remind me of what an eggplant feels like on the inside. So this is what we're actually going to cook, okay? Let's go ahead and prep this side. All right, see how that just pops right out. All right, so now we've got this part that we're going to go ahead and cook. Let me give this part a little taste and just see. Yep, that's bitter. It's not as bad as I thought. but it's got a slightly almost juicy, chewy texture. But let's go ahead and give this part a taste because maybe this is more bitter than that part. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's bitter. But it's got a nice crunchy texture to it. So I think it's gonna do really well in my stir fry. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and make like little half moons that we can pop into our stir fry. You can eat this raw, so that's an option as well. You can bake these, you can stuff these, or just like I scooped out the middle, you can then replace that with whatever filling you like. They can be steamed, so they are very, very, very flexible. I try a new ingredient from the produce aisle at least once a month. I try to do it more often than that. So I saw these at the farmer's market and I was like, you know what? I've never had that before. Let's give this a try. So that's what it looks like once it's prepped and ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead now and head on over to the stove and cook this stir fry. All right, so what would a stir fry be if we did not use a wok? So this is a wok. I've had this thing forever. It was super cheap, but it has stood the test of time and I love it. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat my sesame oil. I'm probably doing about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I've got a lot of veggies here, so I want my skillet to be nice and hot. So while that's heating up, I'm gonna talk about my other ingredient because like I said, it's got a bitter taste, right? Bitter melon. And we're going to use naturally sweet vegetables to complement it. So that's why we're using the carrots. The broccoli have a little bit of sweetness to them. The onion as well. And of course the bell pepper does. And we know we've got our little sweet peas. So that's going to balance off or balance out that bitterness in the bitter melon. That smells good already. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add in our Asian mirepoix, which is the garlic, ginger, and scallion. So mirepoix, that's that holy trinity, right? Classic mirepoix is onion, carrots, and celery. In New Orleans, they do onions, celery, and bell pepper. All right, so we've got our mirepoix smelling up the kitchen already. So next we're going to add in the vegetables that take a little longer to cook. So we're going to add in our mushrooms, and I'm going to go ahead and pop in my carrots. And remember that these are going to release, a lot of these ingredients are going to release moisture on their own, but we are going to add a little bit of stock so that our stuff doesn't stick to the pot. So just a little bit. We don't want to over saturate because with the stir fry, you want your ingredients to be somewhat crisp or crunchy. So we don't want these to boil or steam necessarily. We want them to cook kind of high and fast. So we're cooking this over medium to medium high heat. All right, let's give this a little bit of salt. That's going to help draw out some of the moisture as well, and of course build flavor. I love a good stir fry. It's a great way to clean out your fridge. You can even repurpose some ingredients that might be just a little past their prime, but you can throw them in a stir fry and they really do come back to life. Okay. So we're next going to go ahead and add in our other vegetables. So we're going to add in the broccoli, the onions, the pepper, and of course our bitter melon. That is just a beautiful dish already. Let's add a little more of our salt. And I'm going to add a little more of my stock, vegetable stock, just to help that start to break down. And I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on this so that that steam is not evaporating, but instead it's going to stay in my wok and help to cook my vegetables. Okay, so while the vegetables are getting to know each other, let's go ahead and make our slurry, or the sauce that is going to pull this all together. Doctor's orders. Bitter melon is a tropical fruit commonly used in Asian, African, and Caribbean cuisines. It has a distinct bitter taste and has been traditionally used for its medicinal properties, particularly in diabetes management. Here are the health benefits of bitter melon. 1. Blood sugar control. Bitter melon contains compounds which help regulate blood sugar levels. It has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood glucose levels, making it beneficial for people who have type 2 diabetes. 2. Rich in antioxidants. Bitter melon is packed with antioxidants like vitamin C, which help neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress and lowering the risk of chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease. 3. Supports digestive health. Bitter melon has been traditionally used to aid digestion. It promotes gut health and can help relieve constipation due to its fiber content. 4. Aids in weight loss. Low in calories and rich in fiber, bitter melon can help with weight management by promoting satiety and preventing overeating. Some studies also suggest it might improve fat metabolism. 5. May improve skin health. Due to its antioxidant properties and ability to detoxify the blood, bitter melon has been associated with improving skin conditions like acne, psoriasis, and eczema. 6. Boosts immunity. The high vitamin C content in bitter melon supports the immune system, helping to ward off infections and boost overall immune function. 7. Heart health. Bitter melon has been shown to reduce cholesterol levels, improving heart health and reducing the risk of cardiovascular diseases. 8. May fight cancer. Preliminary studies suggest that bitter melon extract may inhibit the growth of cancer cells, particularly in breast, colon, and prostate cancer. The nutritional content of bitter melon per 100 gram serving, or about half a cup, is as follows. It contains only about 17 calories, 1 gram of protein, almost 4 grams of carbs, and almost no fat. It also contributes to the daily value of vitamin C, vitamin A, folate vitamin, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and iron. Bitter melon is a versatile and nutrient-rich food that offers significant health benefits, particularly for individuals managing blood sugar levels and seeking to improve overall wellness. Please be sure to consult with your doctor and nutritionist if you are diabetic before eating significant amounts of bitter melon. So what I've got here is some vegetable stock, some cornstarch, which is our thickener, and then I'm using tamari, which is actually gluten-free, and it's actually lower in sodium too than soy sauce. And we're going to use some mirin, which is a Japanese rice wine, and then we've got some rice vinegar to kind of just perk it all up. So the cool thing is we're going to just mix all this in here. And let's give this a whisk. So when I learned how to make this at home, I was like, oh, that's what makes stir fry so good from a Chinese restaurant. It's this magical binder that when you add this to the heat, it's going to thicken it up and it gives it that beautiful kind of glossy look that at least I think of when I think of a stir fry. So now you know another restaurant secret. Okay, so let's take a look at our veggies. So this, like anything else, is going to be dealer's choice, right? You're going to cook your vegetables to your desired texture and crunchiness. But see how green this is? There's no filter here. This is no TV magic. This is just these vibrant colors that are coming at you are all natural. So you don't want to overcook them because then your broccoli gets a little washed out or faded, and it's just not as pretty as when you cook it to the right temperature. All right, this is looking really good. All right. We're going to give that another couple of minutes, and then we're going to add in our peas because those take no time to cook. Those are going to go in at the very end. Okay, so I've let my vegetables cook about another 3 minutes or so, And you see how absolutely beautiful they are. So now we're going to go ahead and add in our slurry because that's going to help soften these as well. And remember, we don't want to overcook them. And I wanted to just mention too that mirin that I added, that actually has a little bit of a sweet taste as well. So we are doing a lot of stuff here to balance out that bitterness of the melon. All right. So we're going to just toss our veggies. We're going to bring up the heat, bring this to a quick boil. And it's going to help again soften up those vegetables, but they are looking already perfect. And it wouldn't be an episode without my weekly plug for Smell-O-Vision. The ginger and that garlic. Oh my goodness. Just make your kitchen smell like a restaurant. All right, that looks really good. Let me check my texture. Let me go ahead and add in the peas because like I said, those don't take long. Let's check the carrots because they are the thickest. Perfect. Perfect. The carrots still have a little bit of bite to them, but not raw. And they are perfectly seasoned with a little bit of the natural sweetness, and then the sauce just really brings it all together. So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and plate this up and garnish it with a little bit of our more of our scallions and some sesame seeds, and then we're gonna give it a taste. Now, one thing I would recommend is probably doubling up the amount of sauce you make. Depending on how you like your vegetables and how kind of moist you like your stir fry, you can always double up the proportions, and that way you have a little extra if you need it. But that amount was actually perfect for my vegetables. This is just beautiful. And we've got our bitter melon. See our bitter melon. See our bitter melon, how pretty that looks once it's cooked. What a beautiful, healthy dish. My goodness. Some scallions. I love a good scallion. You can almost not have enough scallions for me. And then we're gonna add our. All right, I think this beautiful dish is ready to eat. Let's try it. All right, now it is time to taste. So let's grab a piece of that bitter melon by itself and see what it tastes like now that it's cooked. It's interesting. It's actually pretty mellow. It's not punch you in the face tart or bitter. But now let's taste it with all of the other sweeter ingredients like our onions, our carrots, our green peas, and go from there. We are letting the natural sweetness of these other ingredients come through and complement that. So the bitter melon is actually very mild in this, but it's nice and crunchy. So it's giving it, I'm getting more texture from it than actual bitterness, which is great because I've got some of the softer vegetables, but the crunchiness from that bitter melon is standing up and supporting this dish and giving it a nice layer of texture. So I give it a thumbs up. My first time trying it, will not be the last. I really like this dish. It came together very quickly and it's delicious. Now, of course, for this and other plant-based inspired recipes, be sure to grab a copy of my book, Doc Fix My Plate, The Physician in the Kitchen's Prescriptions for Your Healthy Meal Makeover. And you could always make this dish with my vegan Physician in the Kitchen Worcestershire sauce. The reason I didn't use it with this go round is because I really wanted to kind of get the taste of the bitter melon. And I thought those other Asian flavors like the mirin and the tamari and the rice vinegar kind of brought that out better. But you can always, 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 if you don't have any of those other ingredients, feel free to use my Physician in the Kitchen vegan Worcestershire sauce. So don't forget to share, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. If you make this, please let us know, tag me, and share. Send it to a friend, because sharing is caring. Until next time, I am Dr. Monique, telling you to keep it 100. Plant-based, that is. Eat well.